we can proceed on to the next agenda, that is the agriculture produce minimum agenda number 9.
Order number 9, the Agricultural Produce Minimum Guaranteed Returns Bill, Senate Bills number 17 of 2025, second reading. Resumption of debate interrupted on Thursday, 26th February 2026.
Senator, this resumption of debate, Senator Cherargei Samson, you may proceed and take the mic.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. From the onset, I want to congratulate you for moving ably this bill on the Agriculture Produce Minimum Guarantee Returns Bill 2025. Madam Speaker, I think you continue to distinguish yourself as an astute legislator, following in some of us who are the greatest debaters and legislators on this House, Madam Speaker. And I can give you accolades. There is a song that they say, what a man can do, a woman can do it better. And as the champion of women leadership, women rights, I'm proud that the person who has come to rescue our languishing farmers is none other than a woman leader by the name Senator Veronica Waheti through this agricultural bill of guarantee minimum returns. Madam Speaker, the farmers of this country are proud of you. From Muranga to Nandi, from Nandi to Mandera, from Homa Bay to Busia, from Uasin Gishu to Meru. All the 47 county farmers are proud of this bill. This bill will change the fortunes of many farmers. Madam Speaker, in a quick succession, you were the distinguished and one of the best Secretary Generals that the United Democratic Alliance Party have ever had. Madam Speaker, and I remember you came and gave me my nomination certificate after I won overwhelmingly, after vanquishing my opponents in the nominations of UDA in 2022, and you ran the UDA party like a colossus of leadership and a paragon of hope. And I'm happy that today you are proving your leadership, and you saw me today in Maskani, SEMA and a citizen, when you were discussing about the future of UD. And I know, God willing, in the next in the soonest, you might come back as to continue as the SG of ruling party. The reason I'm bringing you, Madam Speaker, is because you are among the drafters, the thinkers, the projectors, the think tank that came up with United Democratic Alliance manifesto. In the plan, Madam Speaker, one of our selling points to our farmers was guarantee minimum returns. I'm happy you are playing your role by saying, let us implement our manifesto. Madam Speaker, are you aware in the NADCO report, the 10-point agenda, one of the key issues is food security and guarantee minimum returns to our farmers. And that is why may the soul of one of the greatest leaders of all times of this African continent, Kenya, Raila Odinga, signed the 10-point agenda with the president. And one of the issues was to take care of the interest of farmers. And I'm happy the ODM, and I'm happy I've seen Senator Ogola, who is a loyal with military precision. Her loyalty is with military precision to the ODM. And they are saying we are looking for power. WANAWEKA, MAWE, sijui Mbwekse, Madam Speaker. So I'm happy Senator is here because when they met as parliamentary group, meeting of ODM, when the management committee of ODM, Central Management Committee met, they have said there is no end point of NADCO report. It is a continuous implementation. And one of the continuous is the legislative intervention. Legislative intervention, we have done elections. By the way, Kenyans were asking her, Madam Speaker, why are we quick to pass laws that look like they take care of the who is who? But today I'm happy we are discussing the laws of Olopoloi, the Olopoloi of this country, the farmers. Do you know the average age of farmers in this country? Colleagues, is 61 years. It is between 60 and 65. You know, we need to make farming attractive, Madam Speaker, so that our young men, are you aware, Madam Speaker, let me give you a quick statistics so that I drive my point home and dry. Madam Speaker, are you aware 75% of Kenyan population is below 35 years, including your children. I had, and I think, Madam Speaker, we might need to invite Senator Beatrice Ogola as the guest speaker during the men's conference, Madam Speaker, in 2027, just before election, because I can see she is supporting polygamy. Madam Speaker, you know I'm a product of polygamy. My father married 2 wives. I'm a son to the second wife of my father, the late Simeon Kimutai Meli. And there is my elder mother, they are still surviving, and my own mother, Madam Speaker. And we grew up in a polygamous family. We should respect. You know, Madam Speaker, what I find weird is this wazungu are telling us to have a mistress is okay, but to have a second wife is wrong. Senator Okiya Mutata must be familiar with this, because he works with most of these people that Senator Okiya Mutata, through the speaker, they tell us it is wrong to have a second wife, but it is right to have a mistress, which is worse. And I think Senator Ogola should address the men's conference in 2027. I'm just drafting the invitation letter, because that is what, if you are a man and you are able to take care of more than one, you can take care. And our business in this world, as the Bible says, is to procreate. We must procreate. You can see World War III of Iran and US, many people will die. How will we replace the people? By procreating, giving birth to many more. And by the way, Share, through Linda Jamii, has provided that if you have Share, your wife goes and delivers, you get babies, we get population, we move on. And the projection of this country is 50 million by 2050, Madam Speaker, which a half of the population will live in towns. And that is why the president is very keen on affordable housing program. He's keen on food security. If we, Madam Speaker, the reason I'm bringing all this dynamic of family is we need food security. If we can motivate farmers, Madam Speaker, through what you are bringing guaranteed minimum returns, it will be able for the farmers, Madam Speaker, to produce enough food to ensure we are food secure. Madam Speaker, until 2 weeks ago, and we were brought statement of drought. Madam Speaker, I want to blame the National Management Drought Authority. Madam Speaker, you remember the OAG did an audit report that says Kenya needs at least 50 billion to fight the issue of drought crisis in this country. Under the Disaster Management Act, counties must give at least 2% for relief and management services. You saw, Madam Speaker, we had difference. The governors appear before public accounts. Like the governor of Mandera, we were asking him, why would you buy seedlings for 55 million, yet you cannot do water tracking for your people? We were asking the Wajir governor, who is the COG chair, because that COG I normally refer as a gossip club. We were asking her, Ahmed Abdullahi, why would you spend 300 million for foreign travel and office furniture and spend less than 100 million to do water tracking in Wajir, yet there is a drought? That is the issue. We need food security, and that is why, Madam Speaker, I want to believe. Why is it that as a country, we don't have a strategic grain reserve? It is because our farmers are not motivated through guaranteed minimum returns. Because it's the farmer who is doing mangoes and I was in a parish called Kibirigo, here in Muranga. If the farmer is not motivated to go and take care of avocado, mangoes, tea, maize in my place, and many other food crops, Madam Speaker, how will you get the strategic grain reserve for the country? So this bill is timely. It is God-sent, Madam Speaker. This is the leadership we need. And I want to tell you, Madam Speaker, 60% of any families, including our clerks and everybody in this room, including ours, 60% of every family's budget goes to food. 60%, Madam Speaker. 60% of anybody's income is food. Then I think 20 to 30% is rent, Madam Speaker. So Kenyans are literally living hand to mouth. And farmers are worse, Madam Speaker. When you are farming, the president has given us subsidized fertilizer from 7,000 to 2,500. But I want to believe counties should do what we call last mile distribution of fertilizer. I want to see it in Homa Bay. I want to see it in Nandi. But you know what we're having the problem, Madam Speaker, is that we're having absentee governors. They no longer care. The president has brought all the fertilizer to the depot of National Cereals and Produce Board. It is the county governments, because I graduated evolved, to do last mile distribution of fertilizer in Muranga. Your governor is spending more time doing cabros in Muranga than the real thing. My governor is globetrotting, going to where Jesus Christ was born, as opposed as to providing farmers to Kipchunu, Madam Speaker, or providing farmers in Trinidad, last mile distribution of fertilizer, Madam Speaker. Our governors are busy doing politics, Madam Speaker. Even you have seen in Homa Bay, the deputy governor has resigned, Oyugi Magwanga, Madam Speaker, because people have failed. The governor there is an absentee governor. While we appreciate what she is doing under broad-based, that one should not disenfranchise the people of Homa Bay from getting services, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, and therefore, as I drive the point home, the issue of guarantee minimum returns, as I go to the bill, I'm happy with the definition of comprehensive cost. Like farm inputs. Seeds are expensive, Madam Speaker. We thank the president for fertilizer. But you believe 2 kilos of maize seedlings from Kenya Seed is 600. Yet Kenya Seed is in Kitale, less than 30 kilometers from my county. Yet the seedlings are expensive. We don't import. Madam Speaker, do you see the paradox? While the president has made sure fertilizer is subsidized, the Kenya Seed is still selling seeds very expensively. It is very costly, Madam Speaker. Even as we talk, although we have a challenge of DAP, there is 23, and Mavuno, which is provided. So the issue of herbicides, pesticides, Madam Speaker, we have been told that there are pesticides and acaricides and herbicides that we use in Kenya that has been banned in the US because it's cancer causing. How many of our farmers have been exposed to cancer causing, Madam Speaker? It's very unfortunate. I can see a number of clerks also are farmers, and that is why they are agreeing with me. Madam Speaker, the issue of fertilizer, we have agreed. Livestock production, including animal feeds and stuff. Madam Speaker, if you are a farmer of dairy, the most expensive feed is animal feed. Can you believe we are exporting animal feed from Uganda? Even eggs. We should be embarrassed as a country. I want to challenge you, Madam Speaker, and I know you are a farmer. If you see the cost of running dairy farming, you will be shocked. It's costly. It's too expensive, Madam Speaker. And therefore, we must give cushion. Because if we have to get animal feed from Uganda, what are we doing? Even drugs, Madam Speaker, for the ones to deworm our animals and many others. So I'm happy. In your definition, you have improved it as a comprehensive cost. Labor, Madam Speaker, you hire laborers, how they do farm laborers. You hire one in the morning, by afternoon they are gone. You hire one in the evening, by morning they are gone. So the issue of labor cost is still, because if today, Madam Speaker, if we are to implement the minimum wage of our laborers in our farms, no one will be able to afford them. Because you and me know we pay 5,000, 10,000, 6,000. But if you have to go for minimum wage, including statutory deductions, one laborer might need 20,000. Madam Speaker, another issue is fuel. The issue of fuel is still up. We are aware that it's in going war of Iran and Iraq, Iran and US. Madam Speaker, you have been told there is a blockage of access of fuel. So we expect it to go up, Madam Speaker, because we have subsidized fertilizer. The seeds are expensive, the fuel is expensive. And then you have to lease the land. The issue of irrigation and machinery. Madam Speaker, I want to appeal to the government and county governments. Why don't they give us tax exemption for farm machinery? So that the cost of production is lower as opposed as the cost of output, Madam Speaker, so that we get profit. The reason most Kenyans shy from going to farming, especially my generation, is because the high cost of production. I doubt, Madam Speaker, if young people, I don't know who is young in this room, maybe Mercy, your clerk, could be among the youngest in this room. I doubt if they can go today and agree to do farming. They might not, because the cost of production is still high. Madam Speaker, you are today in the issue of water. And Muranga is I don't know why Muranga there is a lot of problems. The governor there has completely, he cannot run that county. Because how can he allow the Water Resource Authority to impose, Madam Speaker, domestic use water from 50 cents has been increased to 2 shillings and 50 cents. That is quite expensive. And Muranga people use a lot of water. Go to Mwea. One of the largest irrigation in this country is Mwea. They are now from 50 cents, they are paying 2 shillings for public use, Madam Speaker. Under the regulations that we pass, and that is why I'm challenging the Senate to come up with a motion to nullify these regulations, because water will be expensive, Madam Speaker. Here in Nairobi, there is water rationing. Imagine the water that you are paying 50 cents by cubic meter is now 2 shillings and 50 cents. How many people in Muguru Kwanjenga will be able to buy? I agree Nairobi, Madam Speaker, is dysfunctional. Under Governor Sakaja, he used to tell us in a walk, but it looks like it does not work. Go to here, Wayaki Way, there is cabbage. Go here, club around about, there is cabbage. Everywhere you drive in this Nairobi, there is cabbage. And I want to thank the president for coming to rescue Nairobi by injecting 80 billion. Because Nairobi should look like a capital city among the cities in the world, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, I saw the MCS led by your friend, I know the lady who say they want to move an impeachment motion. And I'm challenging them, don't fear! Bring the motion. We will deal with the governor once and for all and allow him to go and do other things, Madam Speaker. Because Nairobi is choking under cabbage. Madam Speaker, when it rains, Nairobi look like River Nile. The drainage is poor, everything is poor. Like a place called Litain in Kericho, Madam Speaker. When it rains in this Nairobi, you can't move. Yet the county government of Nairobi has received close to 150 billion in the last 4 years, including their own source revenue, Madam Speaker. I want to challenge the MCS because I know some of them of your friends. Let them bring the impeachment motion. We'll do the needful, Madam Speaker. Allow people who are incompetent to go home and allow Kenyans to do other things. Even farm rent, Madam Speaker, we rent expensively. Post-harvest handling cost, I agree with you, Madam Speaker. I want to add one word. You should have put livestock insurance as part of also guarantee minimum returns. And even post-harvest losses. Madam Speaker, it is not fair. Here in Nyandarua, we have so many potatoes, but Kenyans are dying 500 kilometers in Mandera, Marsabit, or Garissa, or Isiolo. It is very unfair. We have enough food in this country. Madam Speaker, I want to say this. A country that cannot feed its own population of 3.3 million Kenyans is not a good country, Madam Speaker. They say a nation is known by how they treat their vulnerable, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, role of county government, I think we have agreed with that. I can see my light is on, Madam Speaker. Let me give you the numbers, Madam Speaker, to enrich. I know we can still do this in the third reading. I can see coffee is now 81 shillings per kilo. Tea, Madam Speaker, which is still a problem. I know Mount Kenya, you are lucky. Under KTDA, us, we are not lucky. We are being given 23 shillings per kilo, which is still very bad, Madam Speaker. The issue of maize, we still want 5,000 per 90 kilos, but we want it to be reduced to 50 kilos by 3,500. Madam Speaker, stabilization fund of milk should be 50 shillings per liter, so that we inject at least 2 billion to the milk sector to stabilize what we call price stabilization, which is under guarantee minimum returns. On the issue of macadamia, I'm happy. It has grown from 25 shillings per kilo to 100 shillings per kilo for macadamia farmers, especially. Madam Speaker, for Senator Ogola, who comes, and Senator, the incoming president, maybe by 2050, he might be my running mate, Senator Okiwa Mutata, the sugarcane per tonnage, and I know Mount Kenya will support me overwhelmingly courtesy of you. Madam Speaker, it is now moved from 4,500 per ton to 5,300 per ton. We need stabilization of prices so that our farmers, when they go to farm, under guarantee minimum returns, Madam Speaker, they can be able to be sure, and going into the future, Madam Speaker, the farmers will be able to reap. And I can assure you, Madam Speaker, if we pass this bill, these are some of the bills that will make you be elected. And I have encouraged you, don't go for women rep. Those are women who have never had opportunity. Leave them to the first timers to run for women rep. Don't run for Senate. Can you go for the governor? So that you can implement your bill. And you know, House of Mumbi, they are proud of your women leaders. I know there are communities, but I think the Luo community has broken the fast because they have now a woman governor. Even Kalenjin, may her soul rest. I know your friend Dr. Joyce Laboso. So why don't you go for governor? Usitishwe. Just go for governor, Madam Speaker, so that you can be given opportunity to implement this bill. We want to see, I'm told when women are in leadership, there is normally less corruption and less violence. Because women are very careful in what they do, and they don't bring goons in their meetings. Unlike some of us, I'm not saying I have goons, but I'm saying unlike some of my male species, not the female species, Madam Speaker. So this guarantee minimum returns bill, Madam Speaker, is a game changer. And I hope when the leadership of the House, both in the national, and I want to appeal to the National Assembly. We are tired of them declaring our bills money bill as per Article 103. Is it 110.3? I think it's 110.3, Article 110. Madam Speaker, the National Assembly will just run and say, this bill is money bill. They did with my livestock produce bill. They declared money bill. But the National Assembly are privileging our issue. Madam Speaker, they declare money bill. After 1 week, they are republishing your bill in another name. Madam Speaker, we must, and I think as a house, if a bill like this for farmers, for heaven's sake, there is no farmer for Senate, there is no farmer for county, there is no farmer for national government, there is no farmer for National Assembly. Why would they should be saying, yes, it is a money bill, but because it is in the interest of the common good of the country, let us pass this bill, Madam Speaker. And that is why I'm appealing to colleague senators, let us pass this bill. Let us support this bill for the benefit of our farmers. I know my farmers in Nandi will be proud when they have stabilization in the prices, Madam Speaker. Just add me 30 seconds, Madam Speaker. 30 seconds?
30 seconds.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. That's why I'm saying my farmers in Nandi will be proud. Madam Speaker, and I want to appeal to our colleague senators. Whenever you are Senator Ojenda, Senator Metu and Onyonga, don't go and disparage Senate. You don't go and tell the people your house is leaking the roof, Madam Speaker. You defend your house because the Senate is there. And I want to appeal the way Senator Speaker Waitangula did at the National Assembly. You should do it by calling out colleagues who go and disparage the Senate in the media. Madam Speaker, with those many remarks, I wish you well with this bill. May the Lord guide you. May the Lord protect you. May they prevent evils who want to declare it a money bill. In the name of Jesus Christ, I yield back, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Cherargei, for those very heartful remarks. Thank you. Senator Ogolla Beatrice Akinyi.
Madam Speaker, I rise to support this bill and particularly also congratulate you for your vision. And Madam Speaker, because agriculture particularly is about food security. Madam Speaker, food is a basic need. And Madam Speaker, when you go to our constitution, every Kenyan deserves to have some food.